Finding our individual life purpose is a convoluted subject to say the least. There are numerous variables to consider, and one of them required before even diving into finding your life purpose is, do you even need that level of direction? It's more impossible that you are comfortable enough with the unknowns of this world to a level where you can just drift through life without care or concern for meaning or purpose. But if you are you confident enough that your decision to approach life in such a form would carry you through any struggle or strife in your life experience? Two stories that strike a chord when coming into play in consideration of this question is that of Viktor Frankl's journey in the concentration camps and Santiago the Shepherd and the Alchemist. The extreme horrors faced in Jewish concentration camps by Viktor broke endless souls, with those with no purpose or meaning to anchor themselves perishing first. Those with a purpose, with a life meaning, whether it was in the pursuit of a scientific goal or finding a loved one, they were able to face and conquer infinitely more suffering than those with nothing to live for. In Santiago's story, it holds numerous insights that correlate to Viktor's struggle in some form or another. The shepherd is faced with struggles and numerous opportunities to give up on his dream of the future. A dream that always seemed to be just beyond his grasp, but always moving further away. Yet, keeping his end goal, his decided life purpose, his main mission, he designs his life around his self-decided purpose. During his journey to his treasure, he learns new skills, he learns to adapt, he learns to tackle new environments, and he earns wages to further his personal purpose. He finds faith in himself and grounds himself to that faith. Santiago the Shepherd designs his life from the ground up, finding love, finding wealth, and finding personal fulfillment, all as a result of staying true to his decided purpose. This is similar to Frankl's journey in that Frankl faces endless and inhumane suffering. He is forced to march miles through snow with little more than rags and busted shoes. He's forced to do extreme labor daily while being starved and offered little more than a small ration of soup with just a few hours of sleep each night, subject to punishment for looking sideways or stumbling in the marching group. Yet Frankl survived more than 3 years in concentration camps. He was stripped of all of his dignity, his accreditations as a doctor, his materials at home, his loved ones were stolen from him, and he was forced into a seemingly never-ending cycle of pure torment. But he had one thing that he would never let that suffering take from him, which was his personal purpose and meaning in life. Viktor Frankl held on to the thought of his loving wife to get him through the darkest of times in those camps. He had something to continue pushing forward for and to fight for. That purpose, that faith of knowing who you are and what you value underneath all of the external facing accreditations, allocates, materials, that's purpose, that's a life meaning. And in the end, neither Viktor nor Santiago simply stumbled upon their purpose in a one-and-done sense. They evolved over time, through experiences, through failure, through trial and error, weeding out the bad and holding on to the good. And that's the foundation of finding life purpose. You get to design and develop it yourself, brick by brick. But, back to our original question, why should you? Hopefully you will not face anything close to the suffering of Frankl in your lifetime. But if you do, having that faith and purpose to hold on to is definitely going to help you through that struggle. There are some other perks to having a grounded purpose in life as well. There is research out there that shows that items such as health, longevity, and yes, what many desire, financial success, are all benefits from having a grounded life purpose. In a study of individuals aged 51 to 61, interesting age study I know, but it revealed that those who had a direction and self-perceived purpose lived longer and healthier and naturally wealthier. We all want to have reassurance that there is a grand plan to all of our experiences of strife, struggle, crippling anxiety, of ecstasy, joy, and everything in between. The answer for this is relatively simple. Our reason for living, for struggling, for being happy, it's whatever we each at an individual level decide that it is. If you subscribe to destiny, this may be hard to swallow. But it would be equally hard to swallow that destiny intended all the undue suffering in our known existence. It's not written in the stars. It's written in what makes you the most excited, the most grounded. It's what lights the largest fire within you. Yet, it also adds some value to your fellow human being. It makes the world a little bit more of a positive place because of you and your life purpose's existence. And that may truly be the entertainment you provide via a Call of Duty live stream, or the relaxation you provide in your yoga training, or maybe motivation or inspiration you offer in keynote speeches, business value from a high-level data analysis, and so on and so forth. You know, Tony Robbins, one of my personal heroes, states that there are two variables stopping anyone from finding their purpose. Number one is the need for certainty, meaning the need for stability and predictability in one's life. Two is limiting beliefs, which are essentially stories we tell ourselves about why we can't do something or be someone. So, what does that mean to the average person? One, you must be willing to risk uncertainty and take the occasional leap of faith towards what you truly believe is the right direction for you. And two, believe that whatever direction you are leaping towards is a possible destination for you. It is hard to fathom in the moment, but we each literally have the opportunity of a lifetime, the opportunity to design our life mission and purpose while designing and aligning it with our highest potential self. We have the opportunity to reach for the proverbial tip of Maslow's pyramid, which we will discuss here shortly. So, that being said, let me jump off the soapbox and provide some basic tools to help you in your journey towards designing your life purpose. Tool number one. Maslow's pyramid. What's the point? The point is you must get yourself and your life under control before you can ascend to the greater life you desire. The pyramid image here is self-explanatory, but I'll drop a couple knowledge bombs anyway. You cannot worry yourself with your financial stability if you are starving. Pyramid block number one, your survival needs must be met. You cannot concern yourself, or at least you should not concern yourself, with psychological needs if your basic or survival needs are not met as you build yourself and take care of you. Over time, you will slowly get your basic needs met. Then you slowly build relationships, stability, and you start chasing this self-growth. Maybe you physically and mentally start to improve, and you get awarded your self-esteem block as you become a better individual. Once you have grown into the human you decided somewhere along the path was who you wanted to be, your ideal self, you have self-actualized, and you've reached the peak of the pyramid. Number two, 3 basic pillars of a foundational purpose. They are 1. Truly enjoy what it is you're doing or chasing. The last thing you want is to get to the end of your amazing life and realize you're chasing someone else's vision. Number 2, be flexible and understand the intention, the aim, the effort. They're all fluid. You will not be at 100% all of the time. You will question yourself. And if you are going in the right direction, be willing to be flexible with your needs. And 3, your life should impact others in the world positively in some form, whether you solve world hunger or simply hold the door and smile. Always seek to be a good human. And then, with your pyramid peaked and your 3 pillars in place, let's talk a little bit about zooming out. With all the emotion, all the must-dos, all the day-to-day rushing, it is extremely easy to continually forget that we are but a speck on the cosmic map that is time and space. A speck among 8 billion specks, or somewhere close to there, but nonetheless a speck that feels, loves, smiles, improves, adapts, and owns unlimited potential in our vast universe of unknowns. As Gandhi was quoted saying, "Nearly everything you do is of no importance, but it is important that you do it." Zooming out allows us to get a better grip on that big picture that is our life. A century from now, barring any major breakthroughs into human longevity, I will be dust in the wind. This message will be dust in the wind of little to no consequence, which is a beautiful paradox to say the least. As Gandhi said, nearly all of it is important, yet it is. It may have no impact, and yet the beauty of that and the beauty of no consequence gives us the room to maneuver, allowing us, should we choose, to live life of extreme individual joy, of pursuit, of awesome experiences, as well as collective improvement of the world today and for those enjoying it tomorrow. This also allows you to recognize that there are those who judge, those that have ill intent towards anyone and everyone, and, again, they are of no consequence. I hear some of you asking, if it is of no consequence, why have intentional aim and effort? And that is for you to answer. Our planet of 8 billion humans is littered with stories of the wealthy who suffer in the mind, having everything they could dream of. Yet, it's shadowed by pessimism, nihilism, selfishness, and lacking fulfillment. There are also stories of someone who was homeless, who started with nothing, who faced trials and numerous sufferings, that grows to be wealthy and uses that resourcefulness to promote a better world, to live in abundance, to stay positive. And if you only get one takeaway from your time here, it is that the world is literally your oyster. It is your playground, and you can apply effort, desire, intentional aim to design the reality you seek. And while there is no one-size-fits-all tool to designing that life, this simple Venn diagram may help. If it makes sense, pause the video, write it out, answer the questions as it feels right to you, and see what you come up with. They're color-coded to attempt to guide you. Those who may not understand the premise of a Venn diagram, it is essentially designed to overlap variables or factors to help combine and correlate thoughts or ideas. I'm going to jump away from the diagram now, but if you need help on understanding the premise, Google always helps me figure out things. It will you too. One last closing statement. Never forget the fact that you are the hero of your story. You are making the choices. You are the one that owns the results of your decisions, including the decision to not make decisions. But also, never forget that you get to decide what gauge or weight to give your hero's journey. While one may not be fulfilled until they colonize Mars, another may be perfectly content colonizing in a zoo tycoon simulator. But neither decision is necessarily right, and the decision is yours. No matter what type of life you live your best life. And with that said, if you got any kind of value from this, please do me a favor, check out the website at evolvedandelevated.com, check out the book, check out the podcast, and if anything on the website resonates with you, consider actually investing in the book. The link on the website will lead you to the Amazon webpage that hosts the book. And if you decide to purchase the book, not only will you get a few insightful stories, some good tips, some life development information, you can sleep well knowing that you're giving some proceeds to charity, as all author revenue from this book and anything related to E&E LLC is all for charity as a nonprofit. And if you're in the Phoenix area, maybe I'll see you out volunteering around the community. And if you're in the Phoenix area and you don't volunteer around the community, I hope you'll consider doing so. Until next time, love one another and keep on evolving your paradigm and elevating your mindset. Stay amazing.